Okay, welcome viewers. Welcome back to the 22-23 school year. This is the first video that I'm making for this year. We are recording live from Studio 202 today. And I think instead of saying hello to Justin Bieber every day like I did last year, for some reason he never responded. So I'm thinking maybe we should just do it like a shout out to Taylor Swift, because she does do kind of weird things sometimes, and maybe you should just show up one day. Okay, so we're gonna say hi to, we're gonna give a shout out to Taylor Swift daily and just see what happens. Okay, so Taylor, if you're watching, Tay, we love you. We hope you learned something. Okay, so today we are going to go over basically an introduction to geometry preliminaries. So we're going to talk about how to name a line, how to name a line segment. So let's go ahead and start. Give two other names for line F. So notice, before I start, some of these diagrams are kind of hard to understand what's happening here. This is a three-dimensional diagram that they're putting on a piece of paper. So it's kind of hard to see. But what's happening is this parallelogram here is a plane, and it goes on forever, but they had to represent it somehow. And then this is a line that's cutting through the plane. There's also a line on the plane. So that's kind of what's being represented in the diagram here. Line F is going through the plane, okay? And notice, this is a lowercase f and there's no dot next to it. So that means that's the name of the line. There are other ways to name a line as well, besides this lowercase f. And you have to use two capital letters that are points. So we could name this line, line AB or line BA. And the way we do that, I'm going to use annotate instead of, well, actually, before I do that, let me show you guys. When you write inside here, sometimes there's a little bit of a lag. So it looks like this, A, B, and we're talking about, it asks us to name a line. So we have to put a line over the top of it with arrows. That the arrows let us know that that goes on forever. If we wanted to talk about the segment that starts, what just happened? There we go. That starts here and stops here, not the line, the actual line segment. Then we would name that the same two letters with a line over the top, no arrows. Occasionally you'll see the endpoints as well in the notation, but you don't have to see that. So we're naming these other two lines. So, or sorry, two other names for line F. So AB, and we can also name it BA, and everyone is writing this down. Now everyone knows that we're talking about a line because we've got the two arrows on either end. How are we doing? Excellent. Okay, moving on. Name 3 points that are collinear. Collinear means, co means together and linear means line. So they're all together on the same line, collinear. Letter F is not a point. So we have to use, whoa, that was weird. We have to use C, T, A, G, or B. And we need 3 that are all in the same line. So I'm gonna have to use C, A, and G. Good? C. Oh, I can't do that, I have to type. Can we write letters on here? Thank you. But I want them to be capital. C, comma, what was it? A G. And G, thank you. Perfect. All right, that wasn't too bad. Name a point not coplanar with AC and T. Coplanar, co means together, and then on the same plane, coplanar. So AC and T are all on the same plane, and so is G. Those are all points that are on the same plane. We need a point that's not on that plane. And the only point we have is B. F is not a point. It's the name of the line. So we got to use B. It's getting easier. Give as many other names for line CG as you can. Okay, so we have here line CG has 3 letters on it. When you name a line, you can use any 2 letters on that line. So we can use CG or GC. We can use CA or AC, or we could use AG or GA. So we just have to write them all out. Now I have to remember what I just said. GC, and it asks for lines, so we have to make sure we put the correct notation. CA, right? CA. This is so much slower than my annotation. I'm going to use the annotation. AC. And the other letter was G, right? Yeah. Okay, so GA and AG. Did I leave anything out? No. They named line CG for us, and we use the notation, and that's an arrow. Good? Yeah, Timmy.
Are we able to put in the arrays as another name for it, or?
Since this actual problem asks for give as many other names for line CG, we want to name the lines, but we're getting to arrays actually. That is coming shortly. In fact, is it in this problem? It's not. Let's go to arrays while I have a second. Let's skip the next 2 slides and we'll come back after my video. Go to slide number 6. So I know everyone's going to be able to draw intersecting lines because we all remember lines intersect at a point, right? We learned about systems of equations last year, the solution to a system of equations. We're going to talk about that at some point. But opposite rays are different. Opposite rays are new. Rays have an endpoint and they go through another point. So I'm going to draw you an example of a couple rays here. This is ray A, B. It starts at A and it goes through B. Now I'm going to draw a ray going another direction. I'm going to draw something like this. Okay, pretend like that's a straight ray. I'm going to call this one CF. Okay? To name that, anytime we name a ray, we have to start with the endpoint and then have it go through another point, in this case F. And the arrow always goes to the right. So we don't want to name this ray like this. That's not correct. So we always start with the name, the endpoint, and it goes through another point. So that's what a ray is and how to name a ray. Opposite rays are rays that have the same endpoint that go in opposite directions. So they form a straight line. So if you were to draw, we'll call this A, B, C. So now we have ray BA and ray BC. Notice they both start with a B. BA and BC, those are called opposite rays, and let's write them out. BA and BC are opposite rays, right here, opposite rays. That's it. Any questions? Okay, uploading to YouTube right now. Thanks for coming out.